Video games. We all love them. Well, at least I hope we do. You did click on this video after all. But more specifically, I love horror video games. But why? I feel that horror is just a very versatile genre and enables artists to demonstrate their creativity. Compared to other genres, it just keeps expanding and innovating in new and interesting ways, and it's something that I'm all here for. I mean, just look at what's arguably the two biggest horror franchises within gaming. Both Resident Evil and Silent Hill have recently reinvented themselves, and as a result are experiencing massive resurgences. But you know, those games are fucking expensive, so if you don't have $117, Jesus fucking Christ, for the new Silent Hill, I have a solution for you. Yes, that's right. What's better than new games? Free games. So I've compiled a list of free games that you can play on itch right now. I've tried to pick free games that I believe bring something interesting to the table. That way you don't have to play free PS1 style job simulators that end with a big climactic chase scene. Ooh. Although some of those are still here, but they're unique. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. So without further ado, let's get into the list in no particular order. I Didn't Cheat is a game I've been meaning to talk about for quite some time now. I originally played the game around 10 months ago for a defunct video on the 2024 Scream Jam, and ever since then the game has just stuck around in my brain. This game is one of the main reasons I'm making this video. This video has been 10 months in the making, although that seems to be the common through line throughout all my videos. But what exactly makes I Didn't Sleep so good that I have a compulsion to still talk about it almost 10 months later? The core premise and gameplay of I Didn't Cheat is actually quite simple. The player has to complete some button prompts on their smartphone in order to get an answer for their test sheet. However, the teacher monitors the room by walking around, so you have to strategize and plan when you're going to look at your smartphone. Sometimes you'll get an ad on your smartphone which will instantly alert the teacher, so you have to close it quickly and look at your paper, otherwise, well, this will happen. Absolutely terrifying. Now, this sounds all well and good, but the game goes even further by introducing the anomaly mechanic. Throughout gameplay, you'll hear this sound effect, indicating that an anomaly is currently taking place. An anomaly basically comes down to your teacher standing in a weird position. When an anomaly happens, you just have to stare at the teacher until they eventually go back to normal. The anomalies are also time sensitive. If you don't look at them within a particular time frame, you will just get insta-death. However, the time frame is very forgiving. All these mechanics together create a rather fun and engaging gameplay loop that lends itself really well to replayability. You can easily spend over an hour in this game, which is a lot more compared to other itch games. There are only 4 levels in the game, but they basically act as difficulty settings. This basically equates to more anomaly appearances and your teacher movement speed increasing. However, I feel like these difficulty increases are quite fair towards the player and complement the player's mastery of the mechanics quite well. I think my only critique towards the game is that I wish there was more variety for the anomalies. It honestly gets quite tiresome looking at the same anomalies over and over again, especially since it's an idea that can offer so much variation in mechanics. But oh well, the game was made in 7 days. This is pretty good for 7 days. Honestly, if you check out any game within this video, I highly recommend I Didn't Cheat. It's just such a fun mini game to waste a couple hours on. And if you want to support the creators, they just released their first paid game a couple weeks ago called Grieving. Personally, I haven't played it, so I can't attest to its quality. However, if it's anything like I Didn't Cheat, you're in for a good time. And who knows, maybe we'll talk about it in a video soon. Thunderhead is a difficult game to talk about. On the one hand, the game perfectly encapsulates everything I hate about the PSX horror genre. The game is your run-of-the-mill PSX job simulator. You work as a delivery man for maybe 5 minutes, you encountered a monster and then you run away, ooh. The game is also ridiculously short. If you sped through it, you could probably finish it in around 5 to 10 minutes. And honestly, it makes it feel more like a proof of concept rather than an actual game. However, on the other hand, Thunderhead's presentation is unmatched by any other itch game. The game's just oozing with incredible Western stylization. Everything like the chapter cards before every plot point, the town design, the music, all of it just comes together and really makes you feel like a modern cowboy. But I think the main reason I wanted to talk about Thunderhead is because it left me wanting more. Spoiler alert for the little plot that there is in Thunderhead. If you wanted to experience the game for yourself, I recommend pausing now or skipping ahead. However, for everyone that stayed, the plot revolves around aliens. After completing your deliveries in the eerily desolate town, you reach at your final delivery location, the church. Whilst there, you find a note by the pastor informing you that the town has been dealing with witchcraft. Apparently, there's a witch living in a dirt mound within the cemetery, and the townsfolk are going to investigate. With all the townspeople most likely dead, the priest requests us to retrieve some footage at the dirt mound. However, when we approach the mound, this happens. This is incredible. I really enjoyed the concept of an old religious town mistaking an alien encounter for witchcraft. It's such a novel concept, and I would love a full game where the townspeople have to investigate this supposed witch sighting. If anything, Thunderhead feels more like it should be an epilogue to this full game rather than a game by itself. It's just such an interesting concept with so much potential. So please, go support Thunderhead. I genuinely really want to see what the creator makes when making a full-length game. But until that day comes, Thunderhead is a fine little game to waste some time on. When creating this list, I tried very hard not to pick any games that were spotlighted on the second channel. However, when trying to brainstorm the best itch games that I've played, Death Flush just kept coming back in my head. So what exactly is Death Flush? Death Flush is probably described best as a comedic take on the survival horror format. The story follows Ronnie, a man suffering from a quite severe toilet phobia they developed after a childhood trauma witnessing his grandfather die to the infamous toilet seat killer. Quite the sentence, I know. Fortunately, due to the recent execution of the toilet seat killer, Ronnie has decided that he's now brave enough to pee on his own. However, little does Ronnie know, the toilet seat killer is back from the dead and he wants vengeance. From here, the game is basically split into two sections. The first part of the game is more puzzle-centric, as we follow Ronnie trying to escape from the bathroom he's been trapped in. Meanwhile, the second half is definitely more combat-orientated, as we follow Ronnie's girlfriend trying to save him. By the way, Ronnie's girlfriend just doesn't have a name. However, I do really like this split in gameplay. The puzzle solving really does complement Ronnie's more anxiety-riddled nature, and we can extract from the gameplay Ronnie's girlfriend is a lot more hands-on and aggressive when it comes to problem solving. I honestly think it's a great example of characterization through gameplay. Speaking of characters, although they might be rather silly, I do think they encapsulate that B-movie feeling that they're going for. Nowhere is this more evident than the toilet seat killer. The character feels like he was ripped straight out of a crude and satirical slasher film, a la A Nightmare on Elm Street. However, having a fun and humorous narrative and characters can only take you so far. So many games have great narratives but are held back by their gameplay and just feel like a drag. I'm happy to say that that is not the case for Death Flush. I honestly found the gameplay quite engaging throughout my playthrough. Since the game takes quite a few cues from Silent Hill and Resident Evil, it's safe to assume that there's going to be a lot of puzzles. And honestly, I think they did a great job. Some of these puzzles can be head scratchers, but never in a way that feels unfair. They're difficult, yet intuitive. If I had to complain about any aspect of the gameplay, I have to say that the final boss did feel a bit janky with its hitboxes. However, it is hard to say how much of that is intentional since it is going for that retro vibe. vibe. There's definitely a great conversation to have here about what you should criticize and artists' intent when it comes to emulating an art style known for its rather bad mechanics and jank. But that's a conversation for another day. Let's just enjoy the game for what it is, a rather fun homage to early survival horror games and slasher films. Well, that's the end of that video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Everything in this video has been recorded and edited, I think, for around 7 months now. It started production back in July of last year, and honestly, ever since then, it's just been collecting dust on my hard drive. Originally, I wanted to have 6 projects in this, but I couldn't find 3 other good games to match with these ones, so I figured I may as well just release it now and, you know, instead of just letting it rot. Anyway, I do have a couple things to talk about. As you might have saw on Saturday, I uploaded a YouTube short announcing that videos will be coming out every Wednesday bi-weekly. So today is the 4th, and that's when this video is coming out. So the next video will come out on the 18th of Feb. That one's going to be a really good video, so I hope you guys will stick around and enjoy it. And then of course, there'll be new videos on the 4th of March and the 18th of March. I know, really exciting. We actually have a schedule for once. Oh my god, what is this? And secondly, we've set a subscriber goal for February. If we reach 300 subs this month, I'm going to be doing a bonus video on Markiplier's Iron Lung. You know, I thought it'd just be fun giving bonus videos for reaching goals outside of the 2-week schedule. I'm not sure exactly when it will release if we reach the goal. To be honest, this is, I thought of this today. I guess the sooner we reach the goal, the sooner I can start production. But, I think that's everything I have to say, so check out the Patreon and Discord, and I'll see you guys next time. Mwah. Love you.
Absolutely.